Hey, everybody. Welcome back to What Are You Chasing? I'm Crystal. I'm your host. This is part 3 in my series on self doubt and what people believe is a lack of confidence. Today, my guest with me is my great friend and my co host on my other podcast, or our podcast, I should say. One of my co hosts, Jennifer Buck, on I didn't, I didn't even say what our podcast was, though, did I?
No, it's called It's Okay to Be Okay. And it's okay that you didn't say it, Crystal.
Thank you. So Jen, I've been doing a little mini series on self doubt and how people, believe that they truly believe that they don't have confidence. And so I've been trying my best with the help of Vanna and Jane so far to point people to the fact that their confidence is innate. They're born with it. It's there. And I've been kind of trying to describe what happens. So any thoughts you want
Okay.
to add to that, go right ahead.
All right. First off, thank you so much for having me on here. And I love your mini series and I love what you're doing with
Thank
your
you.
podcast with this one. And lack of confidence and self doubt, those are big, big things. And we all feel them. And in so many different ways. And, a lot of it can be just social, we've been told so many things our whole life. And so we believe these thoughts, whether someone else has told us or we've told ourselves. And then we live our life as if they were true.
Yeah.
And I know that's kept me stuck for so long, working jobs that I don't like and always struggling because, you know, lack of confidence to trust in myself, to put myself out there. And I love the three principles so much because it's shown me that none of that is true. None of that is true. And I have a really good kind of a what do I call it? I have a prop. I have a prop that I
You have a
brought.
really good, you know what? She has a really good visualization. Look, I can't even talk right now. So it's helpful sometimes because what we're trying to do and what we're trying to explain to people is something that you can't see. And so Jen has a fabulous idea and I absolutely love it. And that's going to give you a little bit of a visualizing what we're talking about. And I'm going to let you go ahead and get started. And yeah, I'll probably peep in. So,
Well, and the big thing that we, as three principals coaches, talk about is how our well being is innate. And
see it.
okay,
Go back over a little bit. There you go. Perfect.
all right. So the bag represents us, and the light inside the bag, that's our well being. And it's in there. You can't put it out. You can cover it and you can have all these thoughts, of I'm not good enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say life is hard and I'm never gonna make anything of myself. Just any thoughts. Nobody's gonna love me. And we feed these thoughts. We get these thoughts and then we like feed them and it's you can pick whatever the thought you want. I'll never be enough. I'll never be lovable. I'll always be broke. I'll never be able to work for myself. I'll never be good enough to teach somebody anything. And throughout our life, we fill our heads with all of this noise, and
Yes.
it's just, and we cover up our well-being. And
Right.
because we were babies when we had the well-being perfect, we don't really remember perfect well-being when we're adults, and
Right.
so we believe it's gone.
Or
But
that it
with the,
never existed.
or that it never existed, yes. But with the three principles, we learn that all of that crap that's covering it up, just thought, just thought, and every thought you let go of, your well-being just shines a little bit brighter.
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
I come back. Sorry. There we
No,
go.
you're great. That was beautiful because yeah, it really showed how, like I like to say, it gets buried. And so yeah, as you were adding those different self-doubt, self-doubting thoughts, I'm going to put it that way, okay? Negative thoughts. There we go. More and more you were seeing that light that lit up the whole bag was now down so far at the bottom.
That it, and the more thoughts that we feed, and the more that we have in there, it's like we have all this space, you know. But the more thoughts we have, the less space we have, and the less room there is for that light to shine through.
Yes.
And I think at this point, you know, most adults have so many beliefs, so many defeating beliefs and limitations that they believe to be true. And all we're trying to do with the principles is show you that they're not true. They're
Now.
very, they might look real, they might look scary, but if you were to smack through it, there's nothing there. It's just an illusion. So as we see each one of these thoughts as nothing more than a thought, and when we know deep down that thoughts are always going to change, they're never going to be the same. So if we get a feeling of, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I can't go do this because what if I fail? That comes with a scary feeling, and that can be an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
And it can crippleize some people, like where you just, I won't move forward because that unknown is so scary. And once you start to see the thought that it's just thoughts, and you step back and let that thought go, that just leaves more space for our wisdom, for our well-being to shine through. And the more thoughts we let go of, no matter how chaotic of a situation we might find ourselves in, the more our well being will come through in a quiet, slower mind.
Thank you. I say thank you because mm, my listeners are probably tired of hearing it on here. Say it every time. Ah, it's so key to slow down, to slow down your mind and gain that clarity and that much needed space. Because without it, yeah, all of those thoughts that, those critical thoughts that we're engaging with and feeding and believing and making our identity, so to speak. Like yeah, d- people stay stuck.
Yes.
People stay stuck because, like you showed, whether we're talking about the innate confidence or innate well-being, guys, it was going down. That light was down, down at the bottom. And when something is so far down at the bottom and covered with so much conditioning and just not true statements about yourself, whether they were, whether it's ego that has taken on, some of the things you've heard throughout your lifetime and just, giving you this little fun feedback loop, right? A fun little loop of how much you're not worthy and how you could not possibly accomplish that. And, this is the one that really gets me the most. It's not possible to change.
Yeah. Well, and the fun thing that, okay, I just had a great, give me a second because it'll come back.
I love it. Let's see if I can get through an episode without me losing a thought. That would be great.
Well, so one thing with the adding the thoughts on top, one thing that I also want to kind of touch on is because there's a whole lot of the positive thinking. If you have a negative thought, you combat it with a positive thought. And that does work to a point. But just like filling that bag, some positive thoughts, especially if it's just something you're telling yourself to try to make yourself believe,
Yes.
okay, by you battling that negative thought, you're still feeding it. You're still feeding it because you might not believe this positive thought that you're attacking the negative thought with. And so then you get more negative thoughts that come to that. And then it's a battle and you're exhausted. And you're
Yeah.
still just stacking stuff in that bag, covering up your well being. You can't find your well being. You can't find your confidence using the same thinking that lost your confidence and your well being. You have to let
I,
all of it go.
yeah. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you, but I really thank you because I think that's one thing that we have not pointed out yet in this series is the fact that it doesn't even have to be a negative thought because, like you said, we're we're combating, right? And there's nothing wrong with positive affirmations, okay? There's nothing wrong with them. But like Jen said, when you're trying to combat a negative thought with a positive affirmation, you are essentially just feeding that negative thought. You're still focusing on that negative thought, whether or not that what you're focusing is positive towards the negative, you're still allowing that negative thought to continue to grow. It's like, yeah, I love that you pointed that out because that is something that we haven't pointed out yet. Is that yeah, it's simply, and I know you'll have something to say when I say this. It is simply letting them go. That simple. I know it sounds crazy, right?
And everybody asks, well, yeah, that sounds nice, but how do you let go? And let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you, you actually start to recognize it for thought. You actually start to see thought as thought. So when you get the racing heart or that overwhelm and, oh, I don't know about all that, instead of going into that, you stop and you're like, oh, this whole experience is coming from inside of myself. I am creating it. And it's when you really see that and you're able to start to call yourself out on it. I'm so big on that. Call it out for thought. When you get frustrated, when you get mad, even if you can't quite see it as thought, when you kind of call it out, it kind of shows itself. And then the power drains away.
Yes.
And that's how you learn to let go, with the awareness of what does a thought look like. Because it can take so many different forms.
Absolutely. It can. It can take so many different forms. And, I think the one that, like, a lot of people really trip over is the invisible form. So let me explain. I think you know what I mean. And probably some of you out there know what I mean. The invisible form, the unconscious thought, because we feed those too, unconsciously, you
Well,
know?
and we have to start to recognize that those unconscious thoughts, well, sometimes they come out in aches and pains, and sometimes they come out in a headache, and sometimes they come out in just being in a low mood. You got to start to become open enough to look at all the different ways thought can look.
Yeah, many faces, right? The many
Yep.
faces of thought. And what's funny about that, funny, but what is funny about that is that, yeah, it takes on so many different faces, right? And sometimes there went my thought. But I had a good one.
That's all right. Sit with it a
Yep,
minute. Come back.
I am. I am. Because, yeah, it takes on so many different faces that sometimes, like, oh, it's really hard for us to recognize it is our thought. It is our thinking. Let me say that. It is our thinking. It's coming from us. It's not coming from, I don't know, the person that just sent you a nasty text message, with maybe some calling you, a couple choice words in there or something. It's, you know what I mean? It's, you get a situation like that, right? Where let's say you have a little disagreement with somebody, and the next thing you know, you're saying, if you're face to face, or if you're not face to face, that you're texting, and uh you're such a piece of shit, you're such a whatever, whatever negative thing you want to say there. And somewhere in that person texting you, right, and saying, well, you're a piece of shit, oh, and you're reading that, you're like, oh, you're fuming mad because you're in this dispute. But somehow it allows that statement to get in here. And then sometimes now that statement of, oh, I am a piece of shit.
Yes.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Now we think it's ours. Now we think that that thought is our original thought and that it is true.
And another thing I kind of want to point out, which I kind of have witnessed recently, is how sometimes our thoughts can manifest in how people treat us. Here's what I'm saying. We project. When we are feeling some sort of way inside, we see other people and we attack what we don't like in ourselves in them. All right. And when we're on this rampage, this self rampage, what we create inside is going to manifest outside. So when we're believing the crap that we tell ourselves and we're getting lost in these things, it can come out in people treating you a certain way and you taking it a certain way because of the thoughts you're having in your own head.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
absolutely. And I love that point because it's the truth. Like, so for instance, if I'm in low mood thinking, okay, like I like to call it, if I'm in low mood thinking, whether that's sad thinking, mad thinking, whatever, and we're gonna go with mad thinking right now, okay? Let's just say I've got myself worked up over something. Doesn't matter what it is. It's something that I've got myself worked up. So now I have this filter, right? That I am looking at everything around me outside of me through this filter of I'm pissed off. I'm angry. I'm mad. So it's so much easier then to look at somebody and be like, well, you're just an asshole. Because I'm being the asshole, really. I'm looking through a filter here that is angry and mad, and I am projecting that on
Yes.
everything I look at. Everything I look at, I'm seeing it through that lens and that thinking. So, absolutely, I get what you mean there. We do it all the time.
And
We do it all.
we do it to the people around us without even realizing it. And, self doubt and lack of confidence is we do that to ourselves and to the people around us without even realizing it. Every little thing we doubt ourselves on, but it's like when we doubt ourselves and then we pull away, the people around us are also going to feed off of that. Just like when we start to step into our well being and we start to let go of all these thoughts that are keeping us stuck, the people around us are going to see that and it allows them to start to let go. But the tighter we hold on and the more we feed it, it's like we're telling everybody around us, well, I can't do it, so you can't do it, and none of us can do it. We're all just, this is life, this is where we're at, and this is how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a beautiful explanation. Don't know what my problem is with talking this evening, but apparently I have a problem with it. So yeah, we're just gonna roll with that and whatever. No, absolutely. And yeah, it's like those self-critical thoughts, right? If we would simply just observe for a moment, take a step back when you're having that type of thinking, if we would just take a step back without judging those thoughts, okay? Because that's another thing. It's not just about judging other people. We're talking about, self-doubt and lack of confidence. You're judging yourself, your thoughts, your thinking, you're judging it. So if we would just take a step back and let those thoughts pass on through, regain some clarity from that space of just stepping away from that BS thought,
Yeah.
then we can see a little bit better, like you were talking about, see it for what it is. It's a made up thought.
And it's going to change if you just step back and let it. That bubble is going to pop and a new one's going to come along.
Yeah.
It's,
And hey, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's no guarantee that like the new bubble that comes in is gonna be ooh hunky dory beautiful. I mean, that's just life, right? But it's really in the beauty of being able to have that clarity mind, to regain that clarity of mind, to stop engaging with the critical thinking, with your beautiful ego. I use the term beautiful, not for real. Okay.
There's some sarcasm there.
Yes, thank you. This is why I love Jen and I love my other co-host of It's Okay to Be Okay, Melissa, because we just are really good at when one of us are like tripping over what word. Yeah, absolutely. But I just, for me and what I think that clarity of mind is so necessary.
Yes, yes. And from my experience, which is going from, I just took that big, huge step that took some self confidence and, hey, I'm going to be okay in doing this. And I'm going to quit my 3 to 11:30 job that I clock into a clock, and I would have never done that if my mind was going fast, or if I did do it, it would have been hastily, and I probably would have sold everything and moved into my car, done that a couple
Yep.
of times. But it's in the slowing down, okay, in the recognizing those thoughts when they came up that you can't do this. Who are you to do this? And not believing them, calling it for a thought, and then just stepping out of its way and letting it pass by. And every time I would do that, every time it would come up, because it comes up all the time. We're human and we have those thoughts. We are constantly going to, and depending on where we're at, you know, some of us, that's a constant all the time. All we hear is those self defeating beliefs and those thoughts of negativity. And some of us, not so much, but all of us hear it. And the great thing is every time it comes up, no matter how loud or powerful it is, every time you call it, every time you call it and just sit with it and don't judge it, just let it be. Observe it. It will leave faster. And then every time it comes up after that, it's a little bit quieter and it moves on a little bit faster. So it's a
Yeah.
practice thing, but every time you call it, and every time you call it, you're creating more and more space, which allows that innate confidence, that innate well-being, that innate intelligence that knows exactly how to get us to places we never even dreamed of. We
Yes.
already have all those answers inside us. And all we have to do is call the shitty thoughts for thoughts, let them pass, and allow that to come up. But the more
Yeah.
we believe those thoughts and we let them take control and we let them dictate our lives, then the less space there is for that innate wisdom, confidence, well being, whatever you want to call it, the less space there is. And
Right.
all we have to do is let go. Call it for a thought, see it for a thought, and step back. It's like the easiest thing ever.
Yeah. And it's not something for me, okay? It's not something that you have to force. It's not something maybe at first before like you have a shift or an aha or something like that, but it's not something you have to force. It's like, so I'll have a thought, right? And it can be somewhat of an intrusive thought sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, it's like it's not like I stop and go, "Oh, that was an intrusive thought. What are we gonna do about," like, I don't add thinking to that whole situation. I this is what happens, honestly. This is how it goes in my head super duper fast. A thought will come in that's kind of like, where'd that come from, right? Don't know. That's one thing, guys. Thoughts come in, thoughts go out. Don't know what your thought's going to be. Don't know where it comes from. Doesn't matter. Anyway, thought comes in my head, right? And it's a little bit like, what the? And so this is exactly what happens. I'm like, oh, that was weird. That's it.
Yeah,
And it's gone. Just like that. It's out of my head. I didn't do anything, didn't push it, didn't fight it, didn't have to say, oh my gosh, why would I think something like that?
right. Exactly. And, I think the hardest part for me, the only thing I had to work on was actually calling my thoughts for thoughts. Okay. Cause I mean, I would get in these spirals. I would get in these bipolar just spirals of the never ending loop. And it, you know, what I had to make myself really take that step back and really see it for thought, that mental step back, and and then I had to really start paying attention to what my thoughts look like, because I don't know the majority of my thoughts because they're unconscious, right? But
Right.
they still come out. They still come
Mhm.
out. We act them out. We're puppets
Mhm.
to our thoughts.
I love that.
I
Yeah.
just thought of that. I just made that up right now. That's ours now.
That is, what's ours now. I should write it down like you did the other day on the other podcast. That's ours now.
Yep.
When Melissa said something, you're like, oh, I love that. That's ours. I'm just writing that down. But yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. What a, we're just puppets sometimes to those thoughts
Just
when we allow those thoughts to pull our strings
yes.
and say, oh, okay, well, since this thought, whatever it is, because like you said, unconscious thoughts come in, guys. We don't know what the hell they are. We
Yeah.
really don't, but we still are acting on that unconscious thought, believe it or not.
Well, and we
Go ahead.
also have to realize a lot of our thoughts that built our foundation, our
Mhm.
very foundation as people, those aren't even our thoughts. Those are not our thoughts. Those are thoughts that have been passed down and taught to us.
Yes, yes. Like I like to say, like I said on an episode before. So, when we are born, each and every one of us are born into a belief system that has been passed down and it has been molded and shaped, and some things have been thrown out, some things have been added in, but these belief systems have existed for decades upon decades upon decades upon decades, and they're passed down. So,
Yes.
yes, when you're born, you are handed a belief system. So,
Yes.
yes, that is exactly what Jen means when some of
Our
those thoughts aren't even ours. Say that again.
it is our foundation, yes. The foundation of who we think we are, which is really
Yes.
the foundation of our ego. Because our
Yeah.
ego is really just who we think we are.
Yeah. Or who. And so, not to go too much back to like conditioning, who we've been told we are
Yes.
at the young impressionable age, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. And ego just, gosh dang ego. It's not nice, guys. Don't listen to it. It's a BS liar.
No, but it's really, really good at playing dress up and look
Yeah.
like your best friend and looking like it just wants, you know, let's just
Hmm.
let's just stay here and be safe, And
Yes.
again, not something Eckhart Tolle said word for word,
Right?
but what I heard him say was with our egos. The only way to kick our ego in the ass, knock it down, is to step into the now. Because when we're in the now, when we are present and fully into the now, we have none of those thoughts trying to dim our well being, our confidence, our okayness, our fullness, and our aliveness.
Yeah. I love Eckhart Tolle. So much wisdom. So much wisdom. And yeah, I was going to say something about ego, and I don't remember what it was. You know why? Because I don't really care what ego has to say. Let's just be honest. I don't. Because now you're right. It takes on these different disguises, and it can be pretty persuasive that, no, don't, you're not going to want to make that change. Okay. You're not
Because
going to
it's
want to do that.
scary.
It's really scary, and you don't know what's going to happen on the other side of that change. So why don't we just stay here?
Yeah,
Why don't we just stay here in this? Go ahead.
yeah, it's not nice here. We don't love it
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah.
we know it here.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
really convincing.
it keeps so many of us stuck.
Yes, it does.
And when you can finally set it down and even just get the tiniest glimpse of what we're talking about, of that well being, of that light, it's, it's undescribable. Imagine going on this long hike with a 35-pound backpack all up the mountain and then back down the mountain, and you finally get to the bottom and you get to set it down. That's what getting even that little glimpse is. It's setting all of that down after how far you carried it over all of the crap.
That was another beautiful description, because that's what we do. We carry this heavy, heavy backpack, baggage, whatever, on these journeys of ours of life. We carry them, and oh my gosh, and then well, shit, I'm gonna pick up this one I just found along the way too, and I'm gonna pick up this one, and we are so being like, just, it's taking so much energy just to put one foot in front of the other and continue walking down that path, when it just never freaking occurs to us, because we don't believe it to be this simple.
That's
Put
it.
it down.
That's all
It's,
you gotta do. Oh, there's a
yeah.
thought coming. It doesn't make me feel good. Well, hey, you're a thought, and this feeling's going to pass really quick as long as I just chill. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden, we go through life something happens. Oh, we have a little bump. And then we just go. And there isn't this highs and lows. And because the regular gets like moved up,
Yeah.
because I know even on my mundane days, my bad days are better than my good days were 10 years ago. I would take a
Yeah.
bad now than one of my best days 10 years ago every day.
Yeah. No, I absolutely get that. And I really hope that like people take that in. Like really think about I'm telling people not to think, but I'm telling them to think, right? No, take that in because it's the truth. Like I absolutely agree. My bad days now, I'll take over my good days 4 years ago for sure.
Yeah,
Because I don't okay, so yeah, I don't use the word never, right? I do not stay stuck in a feeling. And you know what? The cool thing with this awareness too and living in the principles is that if I want to be sad, if I want to be angry, I'm at the point now, and I maybe you can see where I'm coming from. I'm at the point now that, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. We can let it go right away. No effort. Just let it go.
it
However, I can also choose to stay there if I want to. You know what? Because if I want to feel shitty for a minute, I'm going to. Because
absolutely.
I know that I have the power. I have the power, not my thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yes. And now I can stay in that for a minute, but it doesn't dictate what my next choices are. It doesn't dictate how I'm going to deal with my next family member that walks through the door. It doesn't dictate.
Yeah.
And half the time, even when I want to stay mad at it, it's like one of those I have to bounce it around because I can't just hold on to it because I won't let myself.
Right. No, I get, yes. Absolutely, I get what you're saying. It's almost like a
It
hot potato,
takes
right?
more
Like, I don't
work.
really want to hold on to this, but damn
It
it, I
takes
want to be
more
mad for a
work to
minute.
hold on to it to prove the point.
Right. Right. I want to be mad for a minute. Let me prove my dang point. But like I said, it's like tossing around this hot potato because, like, you don't want to, right? It doesn't feel good. So
I'm not
you're
going to
just
take it
kind of tossing
personal.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that confidence is there. It's always been there. It's
Always.
innate. Just like, yeah, just like your well being. It's there, guys. And you know what? People like myself, people like Jen, and many others that Jen and I know, we're here. Like we are definitely here for anybody who is feeling stuck.
Yes.
This is what we do is help people. And I want to make this point. And I'm not, I will say this a million times over. I am not ever gonna down any kind of technique, modality. I'm not here to criticize. All I'm trying to tell people is it doesn't take X amount of years.
No.
No.
It doesn't take X amount of time and it doesn't take it, we're one thought away. Everybody. One thought away.
Yes.
And that thought is not thinking. Just drop it. And I
Yeah.
used to be one of those people where if someone said that to me, I'd punch them in the face. Okay? Yeah, drop the thought. Let me show you how I drop the thought. F you. And it, so now I love when people ask questions, because when I get to help people see what thought looks like, the different identities that thought takes, the different masks that it wears, that's when I really get to start to see people understand how, oh, you just drop it.
Yeah.
Once you can see it for a thought, then all of a sudden it isn't your entire world. You don't have to go into this personal crisis over every little thing, because not that big of a deal. And if it is
Yeah.
that big of a deal, and I get out of my own way by putting down the thinking, I'm part of something. I am made of something that knows how to get me through anything, any situation I find myself in. I am part of a greater intelligence that that is life, that will find a way to move forward. And the only thing that gets in the way of that is my thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's our thinking, and then it's sometimes without us realizing it, right? It's us thinking we know better. We know better than the all-knowing, all-powerful intelligence that is running the whole show. Every now and then we think, aha, nah, yep, no, I know better. I don't need your help, right? I
Yeah.
got it. I can do this. But I'm glad, no, there are situations, that, and I want people to be aware of this. There are situations that take place in the external world, right? Um, that they take a minute. Nobody expects for like a tragedy to happen, right? And for you to just be like, okay, I'm good with it. There are times where you need to recognize that there are certain emotions that are built into us as well, whether grieving, okay? That's
Yes.
one I can talk about. That's a natural thing that was built into us. And it is a process that we need to go through. And
Yes.
yeah, it just like our thinking and just like every individual in on this entire planet, it looks different for everybody. And I will never put a timeline on it on anybody, but I will say this. There is no reason to stay there your entire life.
No. And we all have to grieve, especially anything that happens. That's something you have to go through. You can
Mm-hmm.
still grieve. You can grieve and still allow the thoughts to flow,
Mm-hmm.
be open and not hold on to them. And it's still
Mm-hmm.
going to take time. It's still going to be a process. But when you're able to let the thoughts flow, because we're automatically, it seems like we're built to think of how we don't have a person anymore. Like when they're gone, we think of or we think about how it happened, and then we have all these questions about why, and that just adds to. But when we're able to stay open, feel all the feelings, we're going to have those, but we don't have dig into the questions, it allows those feelings to pass to where you get to where you're able to have good memories and good thoughts and smile and laugh and feel that love that you carried with them when you set down all of your thoughts and just allow the feelings to be and to deal with them as they come. You know, it's all the making up space. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
No, no, I want to touch on like one last kind of little subject here, and which kind of ties in with this. And it's something that I said one time to somebody that I was helping out that, in one of our, it doesn't matter. Somebody I was helping out at one time who was having an issue with trying to understand where somebody else was coming from, not sure how to talk to somebody who they had a lot of questions around somebody who had had a traumatic experience, right? Whether that was the loss of a child or some type of abuse or whatever. Because I think what I said then and what I'm about to say now can apply to a lot of situations. And
Mhm.
here's the thing that some people need to realize kind of in it really kind of goes along with what you're saying. So bad shit happens. Can't control it, it does. Okay. When we come at it like a math problem, that's how I like to say it, like as if there's a solution to it, then yes, we're adding a whole lot of thinking that's getting in the way of the grieving process. And when I say grieving, it doesn't always have to be the loss of someone, something traumatic that happened. Our body needs time to process and grieve that. So when we treat it like it's a math problem, that there's some kind of solution, oh my gosh, you know what? You're going to search your entire life because here's the thing, it's a tragedy. There's no solution. There is no answer. Some of them are, most of them, almost all of them are unanswerable. You'll never, on this side in the formless, you're not going to know the answer. So to torture yourself, because ultimately that is what we do when we torture ourselves with our own thinking, trying to come at a tragedy as if it is solvable. It is not. See
No.
it for what it is. Allow yourself to do the necessary grieving and then allow it to pass. But I think, though, it comes so much easier with a clearer mind. And let me just say right here from personal experience, not that I had any shift yet when tragedy struck my family. I don't know how easy it is in that moment, right?
Right.
There's no way,
Yeah.
right? Your thinking goes crazy, but it will fix itself if we don't interfere and we let our body, the non-duality, mind, body, spirit, all one thing, let it do what it needs to do and quit trying to interfere with it.
Yes.
I don't know. Something I felt like I needed to add. Don't know why. But
I love that. And one thing I gotta say, the math problem, all that is a bunch of thinking.
yeah, yes, thank you. If I didn't say that, that was kind of my point there. It's a
It's just
crap ton of
thinking.
thinking. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's a whole lot of thinking. So when you're trying to think your way into confidence, if that makes sense, I don't know. With positive affirmations, nothing wrong with them, but gosh, like Jen said way earlier, you're battling yourself. Nothing else. You're battling yourself. Just let it go. Let it go.
And when you sit with yourself quietly enough, and you can ask for direction or for an answer for what should I do. I mean, don't expect a planned out, business plan handed to you or nothing, but get quiet and look in that direction, sort of, so to say, decide what you want to kind of try to figure out. Don't just think it over and over, but set your intentions in that direction and then just quiet down. Just quiet down. Do something you really enjoy doing. Hang out, have fun, enjoy life a little bit, because it's when we step into that where we can enjoy ourselves and be exactly where we're at, doing exactly what we're doing. That allows all those added thoughts to just fall away, and we know the answers. We already know the answers. We already have the confidence. We already have everything that we need. Every last one of us. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. We all have everything, all of our answers inside of us. And we're never going to find it with a busy mind. We're never going to find it searching for something. We're going to find it when we get quiet and we get present and we allow life to be life.
Mm. I love it. That, as I always say, there's just always this great point that my guest makes that's just the most beautiful point to end on. And right there was Jen's beautiful point. So perfect. I could not have said it better myself. Now, before we go, though, there's a couple things I want to say about my good friend. First of all, Jen,
Yes.
please tell everybody how to get in touch with you if they would like to have a conversation with you. What's the easiest way, best way for them to find you?
Best way to find me is www.discoveryourbestlifenow.com. And I would like to take a second, if I could, because starting on the
I was
24th,
going to say it if you didn't.
yeah, I figured you were, but I forgot about it until just now. So on the 24th, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm starting my first, it's a 6-week course, and it's called Awaken to Wellbeing. And for 6 weeks, I will take you on a journey to explore where our experience comes from, what thought looks like, how we relate to thought differently, finding just some peace and clarity in everyday life. So if you're interested in just going on a little journey to find your soul, that's where we're pointing. That's where the direction I'll send you, and I'd be honored to have you join me. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Because that's, if she wasn't going to say it, I was. Absolutely. You guys get on Jen's website and check it out. Sign up for that course. Jen is amazing. And I promise, yeah, look at me, promise for you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
promise
holy cow.
she will light a spark in you. You will start to see. I have every bit of confidence in Jen's innate wisdom. Oh, it's just beautiful. So, yeah, I encourage everybody get on her website and check out that course because you don't want to miss it and it will fill up fast. So, Jen, Love you, love you, love you.
Love you
I thank
too.
you so much.
Oh, thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much for being on here.
I love coming on here.
Yeah.
I love
And
that with you. I love finding new ways to do things. I was really excited about the prop tonight. First time using a prop.
yes, I loved it. I loved it. And yeah, I loved that you did. And yeah, I'll wrap it up now because Jen and I can keep talking for a long time. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching again. What are you chasing?
Thank you.
You know what? Take some time to ask yourself that too. What are you chasing?
Yeah.
But hit that like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and don't forget to check out Jen's class. We'll
I'll
see you
see
on the
you.
next one. Thanks, everybody.